Welcome back to the JNC Baseball Show. Today's episode, we are going to go over the Boston Red Sox. For some reason, I don't think Tommy thinks this team is going to be as good as they are. I'm going to let Tommy go.
That's actually not 100% true. I think they're an incredible baseball team. My main question is going to be whether or not Dustin Pedroia can step up and fill the shoes left by one David Ortiz.
I don't think he has to do it by himself. That's the thing. I don't think he
will.
Well,
Ortiz was a big man. I mean, those are huge feet.
I mean, we're not talking about,
And Pedroia, he's not a big guy.
But he's the laser show,
but
man.
He is an amazing,
he is good. He's a really good second
player.
baseman.
He's fun to watch. Go ahead, Jeff.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, I don't think Pedroia is going to do that by himself, but I think it's going to be a collection. I think there are going to be other players. If you look at this team, it is a very deep team. Okay, you got guys like Blake Swihart coming up from the minors. You got Brock Holt, who is that super utility player. I think it's going to be. I don't know that they're not obviously this year. They're not going to have this one fixed designated hitter who's going to play 155, 160 games.
I think they do.
Okay.
I think it's Hanley Ramirez. I think that's the only reason why they picked up Mitch Moreland.
Okay, but you got Mitch Moreland, you got Sandoval, you got some guys who are maybe questionable defensively. So yeah, I do agree with you that Hanley Ramirez, I feel like he's going to get the majority of the time at DH. But I do think it's going to be a collection of players. I don't think it's going to be the offensive team. They're not going to come close to what they did last year. But I do think they finished top 5 in the league in runs scored.
Tell me why you think they're not going to be that team, because on paper this team looks like it's going to be ridiculous.
Okay. Because they led Major League Baseball in runs scored last year. That's why.
I get that, but any team can do that at any point. Tell me why they won't be as good this year with basically the same team minus Ortiz.
Okay, several reasons. As a general rule, I don't think people expected them going into the season that they're going to be the number 1 team in all of baseball in runs scored. So some of it is natural regression, okay, and some of it is I feel like some of their players aren't quite. Hanley Ramirez, he struggled before last year. Is he going to replicate what he did last year? Jackie Bradley Jr., is he going, at age 26 or 27, stepping up and hitting like an all-star, really? Is he going to do that again? I highly doubt that. I just think a few of their players are not going to have nearly the years this year that they did last year.
Yeah, I mean, from what I see here, Mookie Betts had a ridiculous year last year, okay? He definitely will be very close to that, okay? He is, in my opinion, the best right fielder in baseball. Seriously, period. I mean, not defensively. We're talking about offense here, because defensively, there's nobody better than Jason Hayward in right field. And we know that. Everybody in baseball knows that. And I'm not bringing that up because I want to bring up the Cubs. Oh, wait, yes, I am. But Mookie Betts is definitely the best hitting right fielder in baseball.
Yeah, Jason Hayward, if you want somebody to stand at the plate and swing it air.
Okay, we're not talking about Jason Hayward here. Okay,
let's just talk about the Cubs. Let's rip on the Cubs the rest of the segment.
Let's just bring it back. No, but Mookie Betts, he's a top 5 hitter, period. Okay, they have Xander Bogaerts, who is a fixture in the middle of that lineup. I do think for sure Hanley Ramirez is going to be DH because he is a liability in the field, regardless of where he's at. He's basically Manny Ramirez at this time in his career. He's got the dreads to do it. The guy absolutely rakes, but if you put it in the field, it's kind of like Manny Ramirez playing left field.
And at third base, you're going to have half of Pablo Sandoval because he has lost an absolute ton of weight, and he actually looks, bear with me, like a baseball player.
He looks like a Greek god.
He absolutely does. He is swole as shit.
Can I just make this argument, though? There's obviously been a lot of hoopla over Sandoval the last couple of years with his weight. I don't know that the weight. I'm just not convinced that was the reason for his lack of production over the last couple of years, or since he's been with Boston, because he was massive with the Giants, and he was still he was still a productive player. Now I think he was over. I don't think he deserved that contract he got. Okay, a lot of that was postseason accolades and things like that. Okay, I don't think that he was ever some superstar stud player. Okay, but I'm just not convinced that the weight is the big problem. I think some of that could just be he's getting older.
Obviously, he was concerned about the weight because he dropped 60 pounds. And he is in baseball shape and ready to go.
So here's my thing with this. I don't think it's so much the weight. I think it's so much the effort and wanting to be there. He got all that weight because he didn't want to be there. He put back in the effort. I think he's ready to be professional now.
Good point.
And I think he's going to come in.
That's
he's only hitting 7th. So, I mean, it's not like they're putting him, in second.
And the thing is, and they do have, and what I really like about their offense, though, is they have enough depth. If it doesn't work out with him, too bad, but you can put Brock Holt in there.
Yeah, but they did get rid of Travis Shaw for no reason.
Yeah, that's true. They got rid of Travis Shaw, but
actually,
they got Brock Holt.
They didn't get rid of him for no reason.
Who did they acquire again for?
Didn't they get Thornburg?
Oh, okay, there we go.
So I'm pretty sure Thornburg is amazing.
We'll get into
Unbelievable pickup by the way. So we're looking at rotations. This might be one of the top 2. This is literally one of the best duos in baseball. Okay, I'm not even going to throw Rick Porcello in there. I do not like him. Once in a lifetime year last year.
You
in
say
my
that
opinion.
until he follows it up this year.
Well, I hope he does.
As do
I
I.
hope he does. It won't happen though.
We'll see.
It won't
I've,
happen.
I've got faith.
It won't happen. Chris Sale is going to take the wind out of his proverbial sail, and
I have
literally
more faith in
outshadow
Porcello
him.
than I do in David Price.
Are we talking about the regular
Ooh.
season or postseason?
We're talking about an aging also postseason where
David Price
I
still
would throw a
throws hard.
I would throw a 5-year-old on the mound in the playoffs as opposed to David Price.
That is, I would rather throw Stephen Wright, the knuckleballer.
David, I do agree with you with the postseason. I think he's going to bounce back. I think he's going to have much better regular season. I don't know if David Price is really the guy who you can count on for just blow it by people. Okay, I think David Price is a smart enough pitcher. He's got impeccable control, guys. He's got a great slider.
Did you guys see the Price rule that just came out today?
What is this?
So the Price rule is now when there's a runner on third base and your foot is parallel to the rubber, and you're supposed to be out of the windup or stretch, you have to tell the umpire whether you are in the windup or stretch because it is really kind of messed up. And he's one of those pitchers. I mean, he's kind of adapted. Everybody's really adapted doing this.
Oh, you mean they're actually going to call a balk because
Yes.
it's any intentional motion meant to deceive a runner?
But of
They
course it's
already-
meant to deceive a runner. You're
they-
trying
they-
to pick a runner off.
A straight
I
move.
hate that. I hate that.
It's a straight move. If they're leaning, you can catch them. It's the same reason they got away with the third to first pickoff move for right-handers, which, by the way, is an exceptional move. And
I actually
was
love
a
the third-
fan of
I
it
love-
myself.
I love that move.
So what we're saying is teams trade your left-handed pitchers right now. Trade them away.
Yeah, trade them all to the Royals so they can still be bad. So here's the thing.
Still be bad with
So,
two
they're still terrible.
two world championships in 3 years. Thank you.
I'm sorry.
One championship.
One
I'm sorry.
world
I'm sorry.
championship.
Yeah, okay,
that they
okay.
backed into, and we're not going to get into that. They
come on,
backed into
come
it.
on.
They
30
backed, You're
teams.
lucky
There
that
are
the Cubs
30
played the Mets.
teams.
You're lucky the Cubs played the
Cubs
Mets.
played the Mets.
That was the
Come on.
worst thing they could have done. They would have been
Yeah,
back-to-back
and they
world
got
champions.
swept by the Mets.
Back-to-back world champions. Fucking
swept.
David Murphy. All right, so who cares? Okay, so looking back here at the Boston Red Sox, Drew Pomerantz, get out of town. They are going to trade him. I guarantee they do that.
Yeah.
Okay, because they have Eduardo Rodriguez, who is a stud, by the way.
Okay, I would not go there.
I'm going to say he is going to end up being a very good pitcher for them. He actually might take over Porcello when Porcello ends up coming back to normalcy. Now, if we're going to look at their bullpen, which in my eyes is one of the best overall bullpens at the top, with Craig Kimbrell, who's amazing. He had a really, really weird kind of health issue year last year. And then Tyler Thornburg, who might be the best setup man in baseball, because he's supposed to be a closer, but he's a setup man.
They needed to get Thornburg.
Actually,
they
I
needed
can't
to
really
get.
say that because the best setup man in baseball plays on a team in their division.
They needed to get Thornburg. By the way, one random question here is: what about Uhara? What was the deal with him? Why didn't they re-sign?
Because he throws 84 and he's 42 years old.
Okay, I'm just saying that. I
And the
just
Cubs
think
just think he's really good because apparently sabermetrics wise he's great.
okay.
So-
There you go. But I'm sure the Red Sox look at Saber, but that's fine.
I know that even though they
Yeah.
whatever, but they had Bill James for a while.
They did.
But Joe Kelly
Royals should have picked him up.
Joe Kelly moving to the bullpen is huge. Okay, the guy throws
move.
absolute gas, and he's got great stuff, good off speed stuff. I really like him there, and that's about it for me when it comes to their bullpen.
Yeah, their bullpen. I don't think it's as deep.
I see them making a move. I see
That's
them
the
making
one I do think, and they certainly have the financial resources to make a move at the deadline.
And
they have
the
the prospects
prospects.
to do it, yes. But it's to me, it's not. I think they have a great 8-9 punch. Thornburg and Kimbrell. Beyond them, it's just kind of like you just kind of pray.
I don't know. Joe Kelly may emerge this year as a pretty good either 7 or 8 guy, depending on giving him one of a break.
Okay,
That's just my opinion on that because I think he's more suited, kind of like Wade Davis was.
Yeah.
For that role, just because of the way he throws and how well he can be in one inning situations.
I think he's good, but he's kind of unproven, and also one of the things I will say defensively, they have a few guys, who I think can be pretty good. I think Bradley's pretty good in the outfield.
Chris Young, why is he not playing? Trade bait. Totally trade bait. Because
Yeah. Or he could be
you got Benintendi. I understand why he's not playing.
Right, and he could be a platoon guy. You could maybe switch some guys around, like put Ramirez at first, and put Young, I don't know, or left field or something. You could. They have enough versatility where you could flip some guys
The
around.
thing that gets me with this team is I don't see Mitch Moreland being their first baseman forever.
No.
He's obviously on a 1-year thing here. If they're kind of contending with some of these teams, because in my honest opinion, this is the toughest division in baseball, top to bottom, toughest division. Because you look at it, you got the excluding the Rays, who depending on whether they can hit or not, but you have the Yankees who are going to be pretty good, the Red Sox, the Toronto Blue Jays, and the Orioles who all have
Right.
ridiculous hitting.
It is a very competitive division, and I think it's the only division in baseball where you don't have one team you just look at and say that team's going to finish last. I wouldn't say that about
Rays.
Tampa Bay.
I mean, the Rays.
I would beg to differ. Actually,
Okay, Mr. Pacoda,
I would beg to differ.
you're going to Pacoda,
But I also had the Orioles picking.
I know you
picked
do,
them.
and you love the Orioles. So I'm going to pick this team as the clear number 1. to win the division, and I think they are the 2nd seed overall in the American League behind the Indians.
And I'm going to go ahead and pick them to win as well, but I don't think they're the clear number 1. I think that there's just way too much equality throughout the AL East than for them to just run away and hide with the championship.
I think they run away with it. I think just Sale and Price run away with it.
I have them winning 94 games, and I think that they
That's just my
win in
opinion.
the regular season. And Price and Sale, I do think it's going to be enough in the postseason. I think they're a World Series. I think they're a contender for potentially going to the World Series, winning the World Series. I think they're probably more so than any team in the American League, including the Cleveland Indians, by the way.
It's so tough for me to say that because of the division they're in.
Will they do it? I'm still a little bit skeptical because of the depth of their rotation and their bullpen, but I think they'll finish 94 wins and they'll cruise through the regular season.
Yeah, it's
I
tough
think they'll
for me to
win their
say-
division comfortably.
It's tough for me to say 94 wins because their interleague schedule, they play in the NL Central.
Oh, yeah.
So
that's
they're going to
okay,
get some. They're going to get some easy wins against the Reds and the Brew Crew, but they're going to have some tough games against the other. And that actually might be good for them because they might get a chance to face some really good teams.
You're right.
So that's the Red Sox for us this year. We appreciate you listening. Again, follow us on Twitter, JNC Baseball Show. Please send us any topics, questions, anything you have to our email, jncbaseballofficial@gmail.com. Again, please follow us on iTunes. Give us a subscribe and like on YouTube. We really appreciate it, and we will see you next time.